Alright, you guys, it is December. We are in the home stretch. We're only a few days away from Star Wars The Force Awakens. And I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars The Phantom Menace. This is episode 1. Obviously, it came out after the original trilogy did. And this is the start of the prequel trilogy. I'm going to get these ones out of the way first. So Star Wars The Phantom Menace is written and directed by George Lucas, who I think overall is a genius, but has just made some really stupid decisions, if that makes any sense. Star Wars The Phantom Menace came out in 1999, and like I said, it's the first of, I guess, the Star Wars saga chronologically. And Star Wars The Phantom Menace is, we basically meet the Jedi Order, which is basically Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi and some other Jedi, which we'll talk about throughout the series. And they're going to protect the Queen of Naboo, and they're going to try to protect her, and because she's trying to do all these trade federation treaties and shit like that. A lot of political stuff going on in this movie. We'll talk about that. But basically, yeah, they're trying to protect her, but meanwhile, along the way, they meet this kid named Anakin Skywalker, and according to George Lucas, the midichlorians, he's got a lot of midichlorians inside him. I fucking hate that word, midichlorians. And yeah, so they basically believe that Anakin Skywalker is going to be the one to bring balance to the Force. And overall, that's really the plot of Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Now, what I think of Star Wars The Phantom Menace is, it's awful. It is a bad movie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And yes, I'm going to be ranting on the prequels, but know this. With the exception of Attack of the Clones, there are some redeemable qualities about the prequel trilogy that I actually don't mind. It isn't much, and I'm not going to be giving these movies good reviews, so be prepared. I'm going to be ranting on the prequels, but I'm going to tell you why. I'm not just going to rant on the prequels just to rant on the prequels. I'm going to give you good reasons why I'm ranting on the prequels. Let's start with Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace here. First, the good. I'm going to talk about the good things first because there's so little of the good in this movie. First, number one, as you can see on the cover of the steelbook here, Darth Maul. Darth Maul is one of the best parts of the movie, if not the best part. I mean, just the whole look of him and the fact that he's a badass and the way he fights and his lightsaber, all of Darth Maul is really cool. My biggest problem with Darth Maul is we don't see enough of him. We don't. And if you've seen the movie already, it came out in 1999, so chances are you've seen the movie. Darth Maul dies. And I know all you, Star Wars fanboys. I mean, I'm a Star Wars fanboy, but I know you guys are going to be saying, well, Darth Maul came back in the Clone Wars. Well, I'm only talking about the movies right now. And in the movies, he's dead. Yeah, they killed off Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace, and that's what I didn't like, but more about the bad later. Also, another good thing, the score. John Williams' score. John Williams, I believe, is the greatest composer of all time. Hans Zimmer is my second favorite. Danny Elfman is really up there, close in the third spot. And, there are some good composers out there, but by far, John Williams is the best. And despite how you feel about the prequel trilogies, you cannot deny that John Williams' score is still fucking fantastic. I just re-listened to Duel of the Fates, right before I started filming this review. And Duel of the Fates is awesome. It's one of the best score pieces in all 6 of the Star Wars movies. I'm not saying it's the number one, but it is definitely one of the best. It's one of my personal favorites. I love Duel of the Fates, that score piece right there. Also, Liam Neeson, he's okay in the movie. I really like Liam Neeson a lot. I like the character of Qui-Gon Jinn. Unfortunately, I don't think Liam Neeson was the right person to play Qui-Gon Jinn, but I'm glad that he did because it made that a little bit better at least. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. He is one of the good points of this movie. Then we have Natalie Portman as Padme Amidala. And yeah, she's alright. She's not the best But I didn't have too much of a problem with her. Everything else in this movie is bad. It's awful, and I don't like it. There's a whole laundry list of things about this movie that I don't like. I do want to mention, real quick before we get into the bad, Ian McDiarmid, who's playing, I guess he's not Chancellor yet, but Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious. And I will say he is a class actor, and he really does a good job in these movies. Despite how I feel about him, he's still good in these movies. Now the bad. Number one, the big elephant in the room, Jar Jar Binks. How do I feel about Jar Jar Binks? The same way everybody else feels about Jar Jar Binks. I fucking hate him. I don't know why he's in this movie. Okay, they wanted to appeal to kids, and they wanted to make toys, and that's really it. But if you're going to do that, at least try to make the character fun. And the guy who plays Jar Jar Binks actually looked like he was having fun being in a Star Wars movie. I mean, why wouldn't he? I mean, I give him props for, at least he's having fun with it, and you can tell he's having fun. The problem is the character doesn't work. It doesn't. I don't like Jar Jar Binks. I hate the fucking race of the Gungans. Yes, I am a racist towards Gungans, alright? I hate the Gungans. They can all die for all I care. The Roger battle droids, hate them. I hate the word midichlorians. We've never heard the term midichlorians in a Star Wars movie up until this point. Until now. Why the fuck were midichlorians brought into this mix? I don't care. I don't get it. It's not for me. Also, the exposition, talking and walking scenes and sitting in a circle and talking, and they're boring. At least, if you're going to do scenes like that, at least make them something interesting, something that we care about. We don't care about what they're talking about. We don't want to see 95% of the movie just walking and talking in these long political exposition scenes. We don't care. I'm not a big politics man myself, but even if I was, I would find this boring. Yeah. Anakin Skywalker, the man who would grow up to be Darth Vader. He's played by Jake Lloyd in this movie, who I didn't really have that much of a problem with Jake Lloyd in Jingle All the Way. Phantom Menace is a different story. I hate the fucking kid in this movie. I do. I don't know what it is about him. He doesn't scream Darth Vader to me, and you can argue, okay, yes, he's a kid. He's not even a Jedi yet. He's not gonna be the Darth Vader that we all know and love. I get it. This kid does not fit in this movie. Like, I saw the behind-the-scenes stuff in the making of the Phantom Menace, and I saw a couple of the kids that they were looking at to play Anakin Skywalker. And let me tell you, in the behind-the-scenes footage, they showed the audition tape of this one kid, and I don't know who the kid is, but damn, that kid would have been a pretty good young Anakin Skywalker if they wanted to start there. I don't know why they picked Jake Lloyd. I really don't. I can't find a logical explanation behind it. So, fuck you, Jake Lloyd. And I heard he got arrested recently for speeding. This is not pod racing, kid. Yeah, if you guys know, there's a line in this movie called, "Now this is pod racing." No, that was not pod racing. But speaking of pod racing, I will say that whole sequence, which was basically just designed for video games and toys and stuff like that, the pod racing scene is awesome. And I still, to this day, love the pod racing scene. The character of Watto, he's a small, minor character. He's only in the movie for a couple of scenes, but for some reason I liked the character of Watto. I wanted to see more of Watto. That would have been cool, but oh well, no big deal on that one. I can kind of overlook that one. Yoda is in this movie, and yes, this is technically the special edition of the prequel, where they kind of tweaked the look of Yoda, because in the original version of the film, Yoda looked fucking atrocious. It's an abomination to humanity, and I'm glad they actually cleaned it up. He still doesn't look all that great in this, but he looks a lot better than when the movie originally released, so I guess I'll give him that. Sam Jackson is in this movie. He's playing Mace Windu, who is a Jedi. He's a part of the Jedi Council, and I like Sam. I love Sam Jackson, as a matter of fact. The character of Mace Windu is alright. I don't think Sam Jackson was the right fit for Mace Windu either. I'm sorry, I don't. But again, at least you could tell he was kind of, well, in the movie you can't tell, but I guess Sam Jackson did really like being a part of the Star Wars movies, despite they didn't turn out so good. So I gotta give props to Sam Jackson, I guess. So, yeah, those are the reasons that I hate Star Wars The Phantom Menace. I listed the good, I listed the bad. What more can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said a million times over? I would recommend going to youtube.com/collidervideo, and they have been recording commentary tracks for all 6 of the Star Wars movies. They just finished up Revenge of the Sith not too long ago. Watch The Phantom Menace with those guys' commentary. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun, actually. It's pretty entertaining, and yeah. So that's pretty much all I can say about Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Overall, guys, I do not like Star Wars The Phantom Menace. There are some redeeming qualities, like there are some small things in this movie that I do like, but for the most part, I hate this fucking movie. The fight, one more good thing I'll say, the fight between Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul. That fight's awesome. That fight's cool, but you got, Anakin up in space, kind of destroying the battle station for all the Roger Roger battle droids, and that shit was stupid. You got the shit with Padme, with the Viceroy and shit like that. All that shit was stupid at the end, but that fight was awesome. And again, Duel of the Fates, awesome track. Star Wars The Phantom Menace is going to get a D-. Yeah, so D-. I'm not a fan of The Phantom Menace. What do you guys think of Star Wars The Phantom Menace? Comment your thoughts on the video, on the movie, down in the video comment section below. Like the video, share, and subscribe. Just do it!